Osaka is nothing like Tokyo. Tokyo's polished, precise, a city that wears a tailored suit. Osaka, it shows up in jeans, a half-button shirt, halfway through a beer. It is Japan stripped of pretense. Osaka's brash, funny, unapologetically hungry. Here the people talk loud, they laugh harder, and the food isn't just good. It's a birthright. Street stalls sizzle, the signs scream, and there's no shame in living by the local creed of Kidori. Eat yourself into a room. And in between the runes, in between the bites, there is time to see some amazing sights. And today we're going to be going over the things that you need to see in Osaka. It's one of my favorite cities, and if you do it right, you can get so much out of this city. The Running Man is amazing, but there's so much more hidden behind a thinly veiled curtain. So let's talk about Osaka and the one thing in Osaka that everybody knows about. And this would be the Running Man, the Glico Running Man sign to be specific. It's been a Dotonbori fixture since 1935. It started out as an advertisement, but now it represents Osaka. If you're a foreigner, this is where you've got to go. And if you're going to be going here, make sure you do it at night. It is a beautiful scene. Dazzling neon signs reflecting off the water, bright advertisements all around, locals walking by like it's nothing at all, while you smell some of the most delicious food you can imagine. Dotonbori is the district that you have to see if you are in Osaka, and the Running Man sign is a must experience, but there's some other amazing experiences in this area. One of my favorite experiences in Osaka, and possibly in Japan, was here. Start the night off, we went to Dotonbori, wandered around and got some amazing street food, had a beer or two, and then we came to the river. We looked in awe at the Running Man sign, which at this point we'd seen a few other times, and then we used our Osaka Pass to get on a boat tour. Tour being a word that's used lightly here. It's not so much a tour as it is a brief cruise up and down the river. It takes about 30 minutes, but it is an amazing 30 minutes. They play some amazing music. You get to see the Dotonbori area from a viewpoint that you wouldn't get otherwise. And when you get to the farthest point away from your starting point, you realize that even though the area you're in is vibrant, exciting, loud, brash, in Japan, even in Osaka, you're only a couple minutes away from inner peace. Because at the end of this tour, when you turn around on the river, you're in a completely quiet area. A couple of lost foreigners strolling along the banks, a few people eating at a restaurant quietly, enjoying the view, a slight breeze coming down the river. It is an amazing experience and one that I wish every person on earth could experience. If you are in Osaka, make sure you do this. And if you're looking for inner peace in the craziest part of the city, you don't even have to go to the river. You can go to a temple that is a mere 100 meters away from the hustle and bustle of the city center. I'm talking about the Hosen-ji Temple. It's an amazing experience just to see the contrast between where you are and the temple that you walk into. Located along a quaint alley, you come into this temple and you see a moss-covered statue of the deity Bundumayo. The statue itself will be covered with moss because over decades, over generations, people have been sprinkling the statue with water, constantly feeding the moss in a Mizukake ritual. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. I just pronounced right wrong, which shows you that this probably was not pronounced right. But the water splashing ritual is done for good luck, purifying the body, purifying the mind. It's a common Buddhist ritual, and you will see it done all throughout Japan. And in Hosen-ji Temple, you will see it done as well. And the temple itself, for those wondering, is known to help women who are about to give birth. And last but not least, if you're in Dotonbori, there is one other thing that you must check out, and this is the Shinshabashi Suji shopping street. This is a covered shopping street, which means if you're in Osaka during the raining season or whenever it's raining, this is probably where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. But this is a covered shopping street that stretches for over half a kilometer and contains so many shops. I swear it has every brand that you could ever want in Japan. It's got cooking knives, it's got samurai swords, it's got a Pokemon cafe, a Pokemon center, cosmetic goods, arcades, 7-Elevens, Lawson's, and everything you can imagine. If you want to shop in Japan, this is a street for you. Make sure you spend some time walking up and down it, taking in all the wares, and making sure that you find the best deal possible, because there are some great deals to be had here. One word of warning though when it comes to this street and pretty much anywhere in Japan. Tokyo, Osaka, it doesn't matter where. Most stores do close a bit earlier. They're going to close around 7 or 8, with some staying open as late as 9, but that is not the norm. After 9, the street seriously calms down, with the peak hours probably being between 6 and 8. If you're going to go experience it, go between 6 and 8. That's the best time to experience it. If you go too late, it's going to be shut down and you're going to be wondering what I was talking about. But when it's open, this street is a must-see. And while we're talking about closing times and when to go places, this is a good time to mention if you take your kids out around 10 or 11, that might be illegal. This is because in most Japanese prefectures, there is a curfew. It's a law that between 10 or 11 and 4 a.m., kids need to be off the streets, kids being anyone under 17. Now let's move over to a more retro-feeling area of Japan. This area being Shinshiga. You have all the bright lights, all the amazing music, all the beautiful foods that you would have in Dotonbori, but it's a little bit different. It feels more retro. It feels more old school. It feels like it's hailing back to a Japan of the 1950s, a Japan that is not the one that you are currently experiencing. And it's amazing. There's some really cool places to go in here. I would definitely recommend checking out the iconic Hitachi Tower. Now, it does have a lot of tourist attractions that go along with it, and none of them are really my cup of tea, to be honest. I did the slide. It wasn't all that it was cut out to be. You can go to the top of the tower and get a beautiful view, and if you do get the Osaka Pass, I think this is one of the things that you'll get for free, so it's worth doing if there isn't a line. But there's nothing in the tower that is that amazing. It's just viewing the tower itself that really did blow me away. Additionally, you also have the Janbo Tsuburuni, I don't know how to pronounce it. You get these fishing restaurants. These fishing restaurants, you go in, there's a giant boat in the middle of the restaurant, like a pirate ship. There's water surrounding it. You can go up to that water, cast in a fishing line, catch a fish, and then that fish is the very fish that will be cooked up and put in front of you to eat for your lunch, dinner, or what have you. Now moving on, if you're looking for an area that I would recommend during the day, that would be DenDen Town. DenDen Town is the electronic, the tech, the anime, the geeky side of Osaka. This is where you're going to find all those stores. If you're familiar with the iconic Super Potato Store that can be found in Tokyo, there is a branch of it located out in Osaka. It is all the cool tech, all the cool stuff. You'll see games that you never imagined, and things from your childhood that, if you're as old as me, you never thought you'd see again. It's a beautiful sight. There's also a place called Super Kids Land that I really love. It's just stories and stories of hobby-based floors. You'll find huge model train displays, race car sets, miniature race car sets. You'll find models, you'll find anime figures, you'll find pretty much everything in between, including some kids stuff. It's the place for your inner kid, and a place that I would definitely recommend going. There's also a litany of amazing stores here selling everything from Pokemon cards to One Piece cards to shops that are stories high centered around anime figurines that I know nothing about. If you're a geek or someone who just likes technology or even a tourist with a little bit of time, DenDen Town is a must visit. Mark down the places I mentioned or the places that look interesting, note down those places, go to them, spend a couple hours there, and then spend another couple hours just wandering the streets of DenDen. I like to walk, and there were so many stores, so many places to explore, so many nooks and crannies, that in over 3 hours I only managed to walk half a mile on the street. And it's not because I wasn't walking, it's because all of it was vertical inside of shops and just with my jaw open looking at all the amazing wares these things had. And wandering a bit farther outside the touristic area of the city, there is an amazing shrine that I must recommend. The Nanba Yashaka Shrine, a huge dragon-headed shrine that's been around in this area worshipping this deity for almost 1,000 years. What you're looking at in front of you is not 1,000 years old, unfortunately, because of the bombings in Osaka during World War II. The temple, however, was rebuilt on the same grounds in honor of the same deity. And if you're wondering what this deity, the Ganzo Tenno, protects against, it would be against epidemics. And now moving farther outside, we've got the Kuromon Market. This market is a beautiful, amazing market filled with so many succulent foods that we went back a couple times and still didn't feel like we got enough time. I desperately want to be able to give a recommendation, but I can't because everything here is just so amazing. You get skiers of everything from shrimp to wagyu to anything that can be pulled out of the ocean, and all of it is amazingly delicious. Come here with your wallet full and your stomach empty because you're going to be switching those two around. And if temples aren't your thing, another amazing area to check out that is not at all related to temples is America Town. I think it's up for debate how American this area feels because to me, someone who's originally from the US, I can see very little American influence in the streets and everything like that, but in some of the wares, some of the vintage, amazing, hip clothing being sold, you might be able to see it. America Town, if you haven't figured it out, is more a hip area. It's where you're going to find your boutique clothing stores. It's where you're going to find your small brands. It's where you're going to find things that you probably couldn't find outside of Japan. There are some shops selling vintage items, but for the most part, it's for new, hip, trendy, and probably expensive brands. We went here a bit late at night, so we were able to enjoy the vibes and the graffiti, but not so much the shops. It's one of those places that I wish I had time to come back to, but I only found out about it really late in my trip. Now, moving back to one touristic thing that a lot of people probably already knew about, Universal Studios Japan is also it's in Osaka. The Universal Studios here costs a lot less than Universal Studios in the US. It's extremely well connected to the subway system. You can get to it fairly quickly, and this area does feel extremely American. You're not going to feel like you're in Japan when you go inside of Universal Studios, but it's really cool to be in Super Mario Land, in the land of Super Mario. And now I'm going to jump into some of the Osaka Pass things that we did actually find very fun. The first one would be the Umeda Sky Building. You're basically going up really high on this building, lets you walk out on a balcony that circles the whole building. You can do a 360, take in the beautiful views of Osaka, and really see just how massive this city is. As a tourist, it was here that I really started to understand just how big Osaka was. It's a city of over 2.5 million residents, but when you're there as a tourist, you're not experiencing the whole city, you're experiencing a small subsection, and it just doesn't feel as big as when you go up inside of an amazingly tall building and see it from there. In addition to this, you can take some really cool Ferris wheels that are located throughout the city. We went on the Tempozan Ferris wheel and the Hep 5 Ferris wheel because our daughters were in love with Ferris wheels. It's a cool experience and you get it for free with the Osaka Pass. So if you want another unique view of the city, these Ferris wheels are definitely must-tries. And when we come to the Osaka Pass overall is an amazing value. Before buying the Osaka Pass, I definitely recommend planning out your day and trying to figure out where you're going to go from point A to point B to maximize the value that you get out of the pass. If you do a little bit of planning, we're talking 30 minutes to an hour, you're going to be getting your value out of the pass. Personally, I would really recommend it. Another thing that I missed but would definitely recommend checking out if you're in Osaka is any sort of Team Labs exhibit. Team Labs puts on some amazing exhibits, and if you haven't seen them before, if you haven't been to one before, it's truly an interesting way to experience art. And if that sounds at all interesting to you, definitely check it out. For me, it was one of those experiences that I didn't think I'd like. I thought it would be too touristy. I thought I wouldn't be interested, but oh boy, was I wrong. It is a crazy experience and I really loved it. And if you want one last thing that your kids specifically will love, it'd be Kids Plaza. It's a kids interactive area. It's beautifully done, amazingly done. There's science experiments, things that are unique to Japan, ways for your kids to learn a little bit about science and technology while on vacation. And there's this really awesome, it feels almost like a European or Spanish feeling playground area that they've built. You can see it in the videos. It was a really cool thing for my kids to experience, and I'm so glad that I took them there. And if somehow, by some miracle, you manage to get bored in Osaka, there's also some amazing day trips to be had. You can go to Kyoto, which in itself should be more than a day trip. You can check out Nara if you're interested in seeing some very friendly deer. Or you could head down to Kobe, which is known for its amazing cuisine, which was influenced by the fact that it was the first port to open Japan to the world. Overall, Osaka itself is such an amazing city. To compare Tokyo and Osaka is to do both cities a disservice. Tokyo is a true mega city, a city of urban sprawl, a city where you must go to a million different places because they are all so amazing. Osaka, on the other hand, feels more manageable. There's less sprawl. You feel like you can see a significant part of the city in a couple weeks. But it is still an amazing city of over 2.5 million people, and it is a quintessential Japanese city, if there ever was one. I loved Osaka. We had such an amazing time there, and I look forward to going back again. Hopefully you'll have just as good of a time in Osaka